Hello. In this video, I'm going to walk through how you can access PressReader. PressReader is a free service available with your Morton Grove Public Library card that gives you access to more than 7,000 newspapers and magazines from across the world and in more than 60 languages. It also gives you access to recent issues of the Chicago Tribune and Chicago Sun-Times, as well as 635 other publications from across the United States. In this video, we're going to focus on accessing PressReader through a web browser, but it's also available as an app for Apple devices, Android, and Windows 10. To access the web browser version of PressReader, head to the library's website at mgpl.org. Take your mouse cursor, hover it over the Resources tab, and in the drop-down menu, under Research on the left-hand side, you'll see Databases. Take your mouse cursor, move it over to Databases, and left-click on it. From the library's Databases page, you can scroll down to find PressReader, or, alternatively, you can click the letter P, which will shortcut us to all the databases the library has with that letter, which is just PressReader, and that'll get us there a bit quicker. And once you've hit P, hit the link for PressReader. This will open up a new browser tab prompting you for your library card number. Take your mouse cursor, bring it to the library card number field, click on it, enter your library card number, and then click Login. At this point, you should be all logged into PressReader, and you should receive a greeting like the one you see here. Please note that while there is a message in yellow telling you there's a limited time frame for the complimentary access, you can disregard this message. You can click the green Select Publication button in the message or anywhere else outside of the message on the page to get started. So this is PressReader's homepage or landing page, and just to orient you really briefly, along the left-hand side you're going to find options to filter to periodicals from a particular country, in a particular language, or on a particular category or particular type of magazine or newspaper, like a newspaper magazine on art or design or automotive. In the center, you're going to find featured news. This news is gathered from English language periodicals, and it's usually on sort of hot topics. And along the right-hand side, you're going to find a selection of some of the more popular newspapers and magazines. And in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to find a search bar that has the magnifying glass. This you can use to search for particular publications. So let's say you're interested in finding newspapers and magazines from Germany. To do that in PressReader, you can take your mouse cursor to the left-hand side, bring it to the Countries tab. Clicking on this tab will expand it and give you a list of all the countries that have periodicals in PressReader. These are listed in alphabetical order, so if we scroll downwards to the letter G, you'll see Germany here listed on the left-hand side. Clicking on it will take us to Germany's newspapers and magazines. And here they are. With the case of Germany, there's too many periodicals to display here on one page. So to see more publications, take your mouse cursor, bring it among the periodicals, left click and hold the left click button on your mouse, and with the button held down, drag your mouse to the left to see more. To return to PressReader's landing page from here, take your mouse cursor up to the top to Publications and left click on it. And keep in mind, in much the same fashion as we just searched for all the publications from Germany, you can search for all the periodicals in PressReader in a particular language. To do that, take your mouse cursor to the left-hand side, click on the Languages tab. This will show you all the languages that PressReader has periodicals in. Say we're looking for Korean language periodicals. After we've expanded the Language tab, scroll down to find Korean. There it is. Left click on it, and that will give us a listing of all of the Korean language periodicals on PressReader. Left clicking on any of these will open it up. Let's take a look at what actually reading a periodical is like in PressReader and some of the options that are available. To do that, I'm going to open up the Chicago Tribune, which is in the lower right-hand corner of the page for me. Bring my mouse cursor over to it, and I'm going to open it up by clicking it with my left mouse button. You'll notice the way the Chicago Tribune displays is essentially identical to the way the real-life physical version looks. This is how all the newspapers and magazines display by default in PressReader, and PressReader calls this page view. To read an article in page view, you can take your mouse cursor, hover it over the story you want to read, and then with your mouse's scroll wheel, scroll upwards or in until the text is comfortable to read. Alternatively, you can left-click the title of an article to get it in text view. You'll see the change to text view indicated along the left-hand side in the green bar, and you can switch back to page view by clicking page view along the left-hand side. Page view looks and feels great on smartphones and tablets, but it can be a little finicky on a computer or laptop, especially if you're using a mouse that doesn't have a scroll wheel. So be aware that text view's there and it might help you navigating it, especially if you don't have a scroll wheel. So, still looking at the Chicago Tribune here, let's talk about how you can navigate within publications on PressReader. So, taking your mouse cursor and advancing it to the right-hand portion of the page should bring up an arrow. Clicking on that will advance the page. You'll also notice that the major sections of the newspaper are listed along the bottom of the page. Clicking on any of these will take us straight to that section. And you'll notice on either side there are arrows. Clicking on the right-hand arrow will advance us through the section so we can select ones that are farther back in the paper. If we want to see back issues of the Tribune, we can do that too. Now this process is going to apply for every periodical in PressReader. With the periodical open, take your mouse cursor to the top, click on the date with the sort of V to the right of it. That will bring up a calendar with the available back issues. Click on the date of the back issue you want to open. I'm going to click on April 25th. And this should bring up the April 25th issue. In PressReader, you also have the option to translate articles into another language. To do that, take your mouse cursor to the article you want translated, hover it over the article, and right-click. In the pop-up menu, select Translate Article. This will give you a list of the available languages it can translate it to. I'm going to select Greek. And if you give PressReader a moment, it will display the translated article in a pop-up menu. To exit the translated article, you can click Cancel in the upper left-hand corner of the pop-up menu. To return to PressReader's homepage from within a periodical, go to the upper left-hand corner with the 3 horizontal lines, click that, and in the pop-up menu, select Publications. So there are a lot of bells and whistles within PressReader, but that should cover the basics of accessing the resource, navigating to papers and filtering them, as well as navigating within periodicals themselves. If you're interested in bells and whistles, I'd highly suggest using PressReader via the app, which again is available for Windows 10, iPhone/iPad, and Android devices. If you download the app, sign in through the Libraries and Group option with your library card number and PIN number. You have options to have papers automatically download to your device, favorite things, and there's a lot of neat features that aren't available through the browser version. That about does it for this whirlwind tour of PressReader. Happy reading.